to Adam in what sort shall I appear? Shall I to him make known as yet my change, and give him to partake full happiness with me? Or rather not, but keep the odds of knowledge in my power without co-partner, and so to add what wants in female sex, the more to draw his love, and render me more equal, and perhaps a thing not undesirable, sometime superior, for inferior who is free. This may be well, but what if God hath seen, and death ensue? Then I shall be no more, and Adam wedded to another Eve shall live with her enjoying. I extinct, a death to think. Confirmed then I resolve, Adam shall share with me in bliss or woe, so dear I love him, that with him all deaths I could endure, without him live no life.
So saying, from the tree her steps she turned, to him she hasted, in her face excuse, came prologue and apology to prompt, which with bland words at will she thus addressed.
Hast thou not wondered, Adam, at my stay? Thee I have missed, and thought it long deprived thy presence, agony of love, till now not felt, nor shall be twice, for never more I mean to try what rash untried I saw. The pain of absence from thy sight, but strange hath been the cause, and wonderful to hear, this tree is not, as we are told, a tree of danger tasted, nor to evil unknown opening the way, but of divine effect, to open eyes and make them gods who taste, and hath been tasted such. The serpent, wise, or not restrained as we, or not obeying, hath eaten of the fruit, and is become not dead, as we are threatened, but thenceforth endued with human voice and human sense, reasoning to admiration, and with me persuasively hath so prevailed that I have also tasted and have also found the effects to correspond. Opener mine eyes dim erst, dilated spirits, ampler heart, and growing up to Godhead, which for thee chiefly I sought, without thee can despise. For bliss, as thou hast part, to me is bliss, tedious unshared with thee, and odious soon. Thou therefore also taste, that equal lot may join us, equal joy as equal love, least thou not tasting, different degree disjoin us, and I then too late renounce deity for thee, when fate will not permit.
Thus Eve with countenance blithe her story told, but in her cheek distemper flushing glowed. On the other side, Adam, soon as he heard the fatal trespass done by Eve, amazed, speechless he stood and pale, till thus at length, first to himself, he inward silence broke.
O fairest of creation, last and best of all God's works, creature in whom excelled whatever can to fight or thought be found, holy, divine, good, amiable, or sweet, how art thou lost? How on a sudden lost, defaced, deflowered, and now to death devote? Rather, how hast thou yielded to transgress the strict forbiddance, how to violate the sacred fruit forbidden? Some cursed fraud of enemy hath beguiled thee, yet unknown, and me with thee hath ruined. For with thee certain my resolution is to die. How can I live without thee? How forego thy sweet converse and love so dearly joined, to live again in these wild woods forlorn? Should God create another Eve, and I another rib afford? Yet loss of thee would never from my heart. No, no, I feel the link of nature draw me, flesh of flesh, bone of my bone thou art, and from thy state mine never shall be parted, bliss or woe.
So having said, as one from sad dismay recomforted, and after thoughts disturbed, submitting to what seemed remediless, Thus in calm mood his words to Eve he turned.
Bold deed thou hast presumed, adventurous Eve, and peril great provoked. However, I with thee have fixed my lot, certain to undergo like doom, if death consort with thee. Death is to me as life. So forcible within my heart, I feel the bond of nature draw me to my own. My own in thee, for what thou art is mine. Our state cannot be severed. We are one flesh. To lose thee were to lose myself.
So Adam, and thus Eve to him replied.
O glorious trial of exceeding love, illustrious evidence, example high, engaging me to emulate, but short of thy perfection, how shall I attain, Adam, from whose dear side I boast me sprung, and gladly of our union hear thee speak? One heart, one soul in both, whereof good proof this day affords, declaring thee resolved, so faithful love unequaled. But I feel far otherwise the event, not death, but life augmented, opened eyes, new hopes, new joys, taste so divine that what of sweet before hath touched my sense, flat seems to this, and harsh. On my experience, Adam, freely taste, and fear of death deliver to the winds.
So saying, she embraced him, and for joy tenderly wept, much won that he his love had so ennobled, as of choice to incur divine displeasure for her sake or death. In recompense, for such compliance bad, such recompense best merits. From the bough she gave him of that fair, enticing fruit with liberal hand. He scrupled not to eat against his better knowledge, not deceived, but fondly overcome with female charm. Earth trembled from her entrails, as again in pangs, and nature gave a second groan. Sky lowered, and muttering thunder, some sad drops wept at completing of the mortal sin original, while Adam took no thought, eating his fill, nor Eve to iterate her former trespass feared, the more to soothe him with her loved society, that now, as with new wine intoxicated both, they swim in mirth, and fancy that they feel divinity within them breeding wings, wherewith to scorn the earth. But that false fruit, far other operation first displayed, carnal desire inflaming, he on Eve began to cast lascivious eyes. She him as wantonly repaid, in lust they burn, till Adam thus 'gan Eve to dalliance move.
Eve, now I see thou art exact of taste. Much pleasure have we lost while we abstained from this delightful fruit, nor known till now true relish, tasting. If such pleasure be in things to us forbidden, it might be wished for this one tree had been forbidden 10. But come, so well refreshed, now let us play, as meet is after such delicious fare. For never did thy beauty, since the day I saw thee first and wedded thee, adorned with all perfections, so inflame my sense with ardor to enjoy thee. Fairer now than ever, bounty of this virtuous tree.
So said he, and forbore not glance or toy of amorous intent, well understood of Eve, whose eye darted contagious fire. Her hand he seized, and to a shady bank, thick overhead with verdant roof embowered, he led her nothing loath. Flowers were the couch, pansies and violets and asphodel and hyacinth, earth's freshest, softest lap. There they their fill of love and love's disport took largely, of their mutual guilt the seal, the solace of their sin, till dewy sleep oppressed them, wearied with their amorous play. Soon as the force of that fallacious fruit had left them, up they rose as from unrest, and each the other viewing, soon found their eyes how opened, and their minds how darkened. Innocence that as a veil had shadowed them from knowing ill was gone. Confounded long they sat as struck and mute, till Adam, though not less than Eve abashed, at length gave utterance to these words constrained.
O Eve, in evil hour thou didst give care to that false worm, of whomsoever taught to counterfeit man's voice, true in our fall, false in our promised rising. Since our eyes opened, we find indeed, and find we know both good and evil, good lost and evil got. Bad fruit of knowledge, if this be to know, which leaves us naked thus, of honor void, of innocence, of faith, of purity, of wanted ornaments now soiled and stained, and in our faces evident the signs of foul concupiscence, whence evil store, even shame, the last of evils. Of the first be then sure, how shall I behold the face henceforth of God or angel, erst with joy and rapture so oft beheld?
So counselled he, and both together went into the thickest wood. There soon they chose the fig tree. Those leaves they gathered, broad as Amazonian targe, and with what skill they had, together sewed to gird their waist, vain covering if to hide their guilt and dreaded shame. Oh, how unlike to that first naked glory thus fenced, and as they thought, their shame in part covered, but not at rest or ease of mind, they sat them down to weep, nor only tears rained at their eyes, but high winds worse within began to rise. High passions, anger, hate, mistrust, suspicion, discord, and shook sore their inward state of mind. Calm region once and full of peace, now tossed and turbulent, for understanding ruled not, and the will heard not her lure, both in subjection now to sensual appetite, who from beneath usurping over sovereign reason claims superior sway. From thus distempered breast, Adam, estranged in look and altered style, speech intermitted, thus to Eve renewed.
Wouldst thou had hearkened to my words and stayed with me as I besought thee, when that strange desire of wandering this unhappy morn, I know not whence possessed thee. We had then remained still happy, not as now despoiled of all our good, shamed, naked, miserable.
To whom soon moved with touch of blame, thus Eve.
What words have passed thy lips, Adam, severe? Imputest thou that to my default or will of wandering, as thou call'st it, which who knows, but might as ill have happened thou being by, or to thyself perhaps, hadst thou been there, or hear the attempt, thou couldst not have discerned fraud in the serpent, speaking as he spake, no ground of enmity between us known, why he should mean me ill, or seek to harm. Was I to have never parted from thy side? As good have grown there still, a lifeless rib? Being as I am, why didst not thou, the head, command me absolutely not to go, going into such danger as thou saidst? Too facile then thou didst not much gainsay, nay, didst permit, approve, and fair dismiss. Hadst thou been firm and fixed in thy dissent, neither had I transgressed, nor thou with me.
To whom then first incensed Adam replied,
Is this the love, is this the recompense of mine to thee, ingrateful Eve, expressed immutable when thou wert lost? Not I, who might have lived, enjoyed immortal bliss, yet willingly chose rather death with thee. And am I now upbraided as the cause of thy transgressing? Not enough severe, it seems, in thy restraint. What could I more? I warned thee, I admonished thee, foretold the danger and the lurking enemy that lay in wait. Beyond this had been force, and force upon free will hath here no place.
Thus they in mutual accusation spent the fruitless hours, but neither self-condemning, and of their vain contest appeared no end.
it.